Hello, hello, hello. Today we're going to be talking about 5 questions you should ask yourself if you do have commitment issues. And these are the questions that I think will be really supportive for you to find out if whether or not commitment issues is a thing for you or if it's not. So commitment issues has been a really big topic on our channel lately because people have been letting me know that, even though they love the person or they love the thing, career, or they love something that they want to do, it's really hard for them to fully commit to it. And so by deciphering some of these questions and asking yourself some of these questions and considerations, you might get more clarity and courage to just go for it if you actually want it. And so I'm Hani, by the way, and I'm a transformational business, life, and sensuality and sexuality coach. And I would love to decipher these with you. And I also share this from personal experience, working with thousands of clients around the world, have best-selling books and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, first question is, do you actually want this? Whether that's a relationship, a love, a lifestyle, a new entrepreneurial journey, or a thing that you haven't tried before. Is this something you actually want? And you, meaning I or us or whoever is making the decision, is split into a couple of things. So oftentimes I ask my body, do you actually want this? Yes or no? And then I ask my spirit, my being, the part of me that is holistic, that is larger than this physical body. Does my being, do you actually want this? And then also, because we're also connected to the planet, we're connected to different parts of the universe, our beings can be multidimensional. And then it's like, planet, do you actually want this? So knowing what's a yes and what's a no in each situation can really help us decide whether or not we want to listen to body, being, or planets. And oftentimes what happens is that there might be a misalignment in body and being. One might want it, one might not. And then that's where we get to find out what is actually holding us back. And so the question number 2 to ask yourself is, have you had commitment issues before? What is commitment issues? Are commitment issues a situation where things are going really, really well, or there is something that you really, really want, but you can't fully jump into it? So whether that is an entrepreneurial journey, whether that is a person who wants to take the next step with you, or you want to take the next step with, or a career, education, or maybe it is a move to a different country. Have you had commitment issues before? Do you prefer to stay in status quo? Have you had the ability to jump in for something when you feel that that is something that you really want? And if so, then why is this one more challenging? And if you have had commitment issues before, then there might be a pattern to also observe and see how you can free yourself from the binds of perhaps previous terrors of committing and getting hurt. And so it's really useful to ask ourselves, have we had commitment issues before? Is it something that is inhibiting freedom? What is it that is stopping from the commitment? So have you had commitment issues before? Yes or no? And then the third question is, what might I be afraid of? What might you be afraid of? If you were to fully commit and you were to fully jump into a relationship or the next step of a relationship or a marriage or out of a marriage or into a new decision, a new lifestyle, a new career, or out of a career, what is the fear? What is the fear? Is it that things are not going to work out? Is it that you're going to be investing in too much? Is it going to leave you in a place of complete lostness? Is it the uncertainty? Is it the unknown? What is the fear behind all of it? When we know what the fear is, we can really face that fear, because sometimes these fears are rational. Sometimes it's a body fear. Sometimes it's a spirit fear, like a being's fear. Sometimes it's a fear that has been told to us by other people. But what is it, right? So when we know what that fear is, then we can address that too. So ask yourself, what is that fear? Fourth question is, what happens if I do commit? What happens? What's the best case scenario? If I do jump into this beautiful vision of what I really want to create and stick to it and commit to it over and over again, day in, day out, what is the possibility? What happens if I do commit that strongly and that deeply and believe in myself that much into this space? What would it mean if I really committed into a place where I do want to find out more and more and more and more? What would happen if I were to spend my life with another person or another country or another endeavor, right? What would happen? So you can journal this out and look at your vision and see, if I do commit to losing weight, if I do commit to stepping into this new possibility, what would happen? What would happen? Oftentimes, that spaciousness and the fear of failure comes through, and the fear, and just let those fears step aside and take a look at what would happen. So just kind of block out all the fears for a second and see what might actually work. And of course, it's not like a one-time thing, right? You're not going to commit for just one day and then that's all going to be fine. It's going to be a moment by moment thing. Just like how we look at intentions when we're talking about intentions and setting intentions and doing energy work, it's not a one day and then it completely eradicates. It's like the opposite of an addiction, right? Like to refocus and recommit to the intention on a daily basis is what's going to create more joy, more freedom, and more love. And then the last question is, what would it create in a 20 years or in 1,000 years if I were to say yes to this commitment? If I were to say yes to jumping in to trying out this project? And we do it energy way. So we're seeing like, okay, what would it create in 1,000 years, in 100 years, in 20 years? And we do go for this and we kind of download the energy or we feel the energy as a space. So perceive that. And what would it create in 1,000 years if we don't commit to this and choose something else? And you can feel that. And you're tapping into your knowingness and your intuition to feel that. And you can also journal about this. What would it create if you do go ahead? And what would it create if you don't? And that way it gives you more clarity around what path feels more expansive, what path feels like there's more possibility, what path feels more you, and what path do you want? So these are the 5 questions that you can ask yourself to see if you have commitment issues and also find a little way forward to grow and to choose whether or not you want to commit to this next exciting thing. I hope that this really helped you in just finding out what is possible behind this commitment issue thing and see if there's a way for you to transcend it. See if there's a way for you to access a truth and a clarity for you to know what is it that you want and then have the courage and the commitment and the desire to go for it. Always remember that you can choose to recommit or choose to stop committing to it when it doesn't work for you anymore, or when you decide that you need to solve something within it. So check this out. If you do have commitment issues and you are afraid, we have so many different ways on how to remove 20, 200 over blockages that could be stopping you from believing in that this could lead to a better outcome. If your mind knows it, but your body and your heart and your emotions don't know it, there creates a conflict as well. So I'll put the link below for different programs, different ways of getting on our list so that you can constantly be reminded of the possibilities that lies in front of you in this life. This is Hani. I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you so much for listening and joining us all the way till the end. And let me know which questions are revealing and most exciting for you to jump into. And I hope that you decide to commit to whatever it is that you want and allow your fears to slip away. All right, talk to you soon. And if you have any questions at all, just put them down below. Love you so much. Subscribe, like. Should probably said this in the earlier part of the video. Anyway, talk to you soon. Love you. Mwah.